Child, it's the weekend and we can't even go anywhere. So I know that a lot of you are bored during this quarantining, during this social distancing. So instead of doing things like this, you can go ahead and check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I'm really excited to be doing these like patron spotlights. Shane was the last one. He's an amazing artist, as you can see here. There have been so many other people who have been highlighted by the patron spotlight. They support me, I want to support them. You can get podcast episodes, extra content, all that stuff over there at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Let's get into it. So I didn't want to talk about too many things. I guess I could discuss what's going on with How to Get Away with Murder. ABC posted this whole little like saying goodbye featurette that just talks about the fact that, first of all, the last season is coming up April 2nd on Thursday. You already know I'm ready to see Miss Viola Davis, Miss Annalise. And speaking of Viola Davis, she was in this featurette with this, it's giving me social studies teacher wig, and I'm here for it. Let me tell you something. So it just featured all of the cast talking about how difficult it's going to be to say goodbye, how they become a family, and Viola talking about what she had to bring to the table and how the character changed TV. Really cool, sad to say goodbye, but honestly I love, and I said this before, but I love when shows end when they're supposed to end, because if you just, please do not give us 10, 15, 20 seasons of fluff. It's not worth it. So yeah, that's what's going on this TV side. Let's continue to talk. Let's dive into the music industry. Ari Lennox released this little remix EP, and I thought it was amazing. It was only 3 songs that she remixed. She featured other people. The first one I want to talk about is Break Me Off. It had Doja Cat on there. I think that Doja Cat is a very versatile, very talented, and catchy artist. It's very hard to have all 3 of those things in one person. I think that she really knows how to deliver. She gave us cute ass bars, what we expected from Miss Doja. But the other song that got me up was FaceTime, and it featured Duran Bernard. Now, I've been standing Duran Bernard since COME He has been working hard at this music thing for a long time. He's an extremely talented vocalist. None of your faves, and I really do mean this, none of your faves are really seeing him like that. He had worked with Erykah Badu in the past and consistently been making a whole lot of music. So to see him get a feature with Ari Lennox is just absolutely beautiful. And the song was amazing. He was hitting them notes. It's just, the flavor, the music. I was so happy to see it. And just happy to see that Duran, who I've been following his stuff for a long time, is really out here putting in work and getting results from it. Happy to see it. All right, the moment that you've been waiting for. So this Bad Bunny music video has got the streets talking. It's got the internet streets talking. So Bad Bunny today, at least when I'm recording this, he put out a video to Yo Perreo Sola, and my first reaction was just like, oh my goodness, he's a bad bitch. He's just so sickening. My first reaction, I loved the hell out of it. And then as I thought about it, and I thought about the industry as a whole, I ended up having some mixed feelings. So it's kind of like a debate going on online as well. But either way, let's talk about the video at first. Yo Perreo Sola, it's almost like I'm dancing alone. But perreo, like perrear, is like dancing like nasty, like grinding, like how people would dance to reggaeton, like that's that kind of dance. So people try to translate it and say like, oh, I twerk alone, but that's not really the meaning. You know what I mean? Anyway, so Bad Bunny was just up here. I mean, he was giving us like drag moments. He was giving it like full out, like lipstick, hair down, like face beat, titties out. I was like, whoa, like my goodness. And then at the end of the video it says, si no quiere bailar contigo, respeta, ella perrea sola. So that means basically, if she don't want to dance with your ass, respect her, respect it, she dances alone, and that's it. Also in the video, he had the words ni una menos, and that's basically taken from an Argentine feminist movement that is against machista violence, violence against women. So we already know that Bad Bunny, he tries to break stereotypes, he tries to confront like bigotry and stuff like that based off of discrimination and prejudice and all of that. So this was not outside the realm of expectation, but just how far he went with it, that to me was unexpected. On the surface level, I thought that shit was really cool. But then I dived into it because of course I think way too much. So on one hand, I really like it because I think he's shaking the table. I think that especially in the Latinx community, you talk about how masculinity and all of that stuff is shaped over there in that community. The fact that he's doing this is gonna raise some eyebrows. People are gonna ask some questions and probably gonna have to confront their own beliefs and their own belief system. So that on one hand, I thought it was everything. But then on the other hand, I'm just like, why is it that a lot of times the industry does not gravitate, it won't take seriously the artists who are actually queer? You know what I mean? Like the black and brown femmes that have been doing this for years. It is a very tricky conversation to have because on one hand, like I said, he's pushing stuff within his own realm, but on the other hand, it seems like a lot of people who are not cis and straight get ignored, especially as artists, if they pull this same type of shit, if they do the same type of shit. And that's who they actually are. That's how they present themselves to the world. They don't do it just for one music video. I think those are valid questions, and I think we have to talk about that. I think we have to address the industry and we have to address the people who consume it, everybody. But I think I'm not as pressed as other people are, and other people definitely have their right to be and critique it and ask questions. But I think one of the reasons why I'm not as pressed is because Bad Bunny has been consistently doing things to try and shake the table in that way, telling people to be themselves, messing with gender, unapologetically. So yeah, I have many views on this, like nuanced views and perspectives on this, but tell me what you think, because like I said, when I first saw this, I was like, God damn, Bad Bunny's a bad bitch. But then I'm like, damn, I see so many people, I mean, even people on my timeline, people who I've been seeing working hard as musicians and artists for years, or they don't even have to be musicians, or just femme people in general, when they get out into the real world presenting as themselves and breaking barriers because they've had to, it seems like we're never exalted to that same level. Does that make sense? I think that Bad Bunny's genuine. I'm just having a conversation about like the culture and how it moves, who society will listen to and hear and respect, and who society will not. And I feel like in general, good allies will understand that they have more power, they have more of a platform, so if they're gonna shake the table, they should do it, but then point the fingers back to the groups that they got it from. So what do you think? I think this is a really cool conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments. There was a lot of debate online. Anyway, speaking of gays and queers and all that stuff, did you see this video put out by the Joe Biden campaign, girl? I guess the topic was LGBT people. In it, he was talking about, oh yeah, he told this story about how he saw two men kissing openly in public in the 1960s. I'm like, okay, girl, this story already sounds fictitious. So Joe saw these people kissing and they went their separate ways, and then Joe looked at his father basically for an explanation, and then his father said basically to him, oh, well, they just love each other. In other words, that's just how it is. They love each other and they're human just like the rest of us. And then Joe gonna talk about, oh, well, we didn't have to evolve. Like, he's like, their mindsets didn't have to evolve when it came to the LGBT community or whatever. And by we, I think he means he, himself, and his family or whatever. I'm just like, is this the same man that voted for the Defense of Marriage Act and don't ask, don't tell, honey? Is this the same man? Anyway, girl, I thought that was funny. What's not funny is these sexual assault allegations piling up against Joe Biden ass, but y'all gonna have to look that one up or tune into the podcast, patreon.com/AdrianSpecial, because YouTube gonna be like, you talking about sexual what? All right, so one thing I wanted to mention about these stimulus checks is that some of y'all are hilarious. Rock Nation Brunch Twitter was trending because some people were up there saying, when you get your stimulus check, you need to use it to start a business. All right, sweetie. That's why they called them Rock Nation Brunch Twitter. That's why they called them Dinner with Jay-Z Twitter. They called them Blavity Blacks Brunch Twitter. LLC Twitter. Let me tell you something. Especially for people who live in paycheck to paycheck, that $1,200 ain't really gonna be covering a whole lot of shit, if we being real honest. And how we gonna start a business if we ain't got no home to build the business in? If we ain't got no apartment because the rent is due to build the business in? Please, I'm begging you, I'm begging y'all, do not listen to these people. Do what is financially best for you to do at this moment in time, girl. If you wanna save some of that money and invest, okay, that's good. If you got rent to pay or kids to feed because you done lost your job or your hours are cut, please do that. Don't listen to Brunch Boot Twitter, please don't. Stop everything you're doing and start a business with the stimulus money that you need to take care of your household. I'm over it. I'm over it. Bernie Sanders was on the floor in the Senate just calling out the fact that Republicans are so pressed, or a lot of ultra-conservative people are so pressed that this stimulus check or these unemployment benefits that are going to be handed out, they're angry that some people would be making more money with the checks and with unemployment than they would at their actual jobs. And they can't even see that, first of all, there's a problem with the system if the unemployment, if the thing that's supposed to save you is paying you more than the wages that you get from your actual job. That's the problem. That's the first problem. Pay people a living wage, girl. All these quote unquote non-essential employees, y'all garbage men, people who work in a grocery store, janitors, they saving our lives. They are saving our lives. Ain't so non-essential now, honey. It does not matter what people do. Pay them a decent living wage, period. But yeah, some Republicans are pressed about that. I mean, helping people in a crisis. This is what Lindsey Graham said, and some of his colleagues have said the same. This is what he said, this bill pays you more not to work than if you were working. You're literally incentivizing taking people out of the workforce at a time when we need critical infrastructure supplied with workers. If this is not a drafting error, then it is the worst idea I've seen in a long time. This is coming from people who have guaranteed health care, paid leave, paid sick leave with our taxpayer dollars. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because even the checks that people are gonna get are gonna go straight back to the corporation that y'all try to bail out. Because it's like people owe them money, people owe them rent. Y'all are acting like it's coming out of your account. I don't get it. People pay taxes on every single purchase they make. People pay income taxes, people pay property, all type of taxes. And you mean to tell me they can't take the money that the government collected from their ass to help our own asses out? That don't. Bye. I'll end this video with some craziness as well. Trump was on Sean Hannity and he said, I have a feeling that a lot of the numbers that are being said in some areas are just bigger than they're going to be. I don't believe that you need 40,000 or 30,000 ventilators. Meanwhile, Governor Cuomo said, hey sis, that's exactly the amount of numbers we're gonna need, probably 30,000. All up in there with New York, which is an epicenter. And they said, FEMA has only given us 400. So, side note, I think some people think that just because Cuomo is using some sort of logic, as opposed to Trump, who is not, using some sort of logic to deal with this situation, that he would be a good president, or rallying behind Governor Cuomo. Meanwhile, New York State Senator Marie tweeted this: Governor Cuomo's Medicaid redesign team has proposed a $38 million cut to our central Brooklyn hospitals in the midst of the coronavirus crisis. Please just leave Cop Cuomo where he's at. We don't need to be rallying behind him. Let him deal with it. It's just like, it's so crazy that people are just like, wow, a governor treating the people with respect and actually taking care of them? Wow, it's legendary. It's like, girl, that's what he's supposed to be doing while he's over here using slave labor for hand sanitizer. I promise you I'm good on Cuomo. You know things are getting crazy when Meghan McCain is starting to make sense on The View. It's just, she was talking about this whole situation. I wanted to disagree with her so bad. Oh, I want to disagree with her so bad. She was talking about the situation, girl. I was listening just for one thing. I said, jump out of line, she was making perfect sense. Oh. But anyway, y'all, enjoy your weekend. Please be safe. Please be safe. I heard in Mobile, Alabama, the situation is absolutely ridiculous, especially if they don't have a whole lot of testing or equipment and stuff. But yeah, if you thought communities were being ignored before, it's just like, it's life and death right now. So just be careful, be safe, do what y'all got to do. Pay attention, but not too much attention to where it's freaking you out. I love you all so much. Check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AdrianExpression and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.